Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Monotalk. My show is about saving the planet and all of its inhabitants. And if we have the right leaders doing the correct things for the 99% and this planet, and everybody else, we could have some great progress. But there is no progress. There's nothing happening. Everything's in a stalemate. And basically, it's really simple. The Dumbo cants, and I'm talking about the legislators, judiciaries, and the executives, they no longer have any leverage. They have no influence. They have no clout. They absolutely have nothing. So you can demand all you want. You can raise your hand and you can do whatever you want. I don't see any protests. That's something that you probably should be doing. But they're going to block you off. I mean, protesting to go outside to die or to get an infection, to get the virus or get the flu, they're not stopping those guys. No. I'm not saying that it is true or it is out there. Really, nobody knows what's going on with that to the fullest extent. I do know that a Nobel Peace Prize winner by the name of Luc Montagnier said that it was man-made or woman-made or made by a laboratory. And there's traces of that. But anyway, let's get back to the point. So this show basically is about not having any more leverage. I mean, I'm just watching everybody. I'm watching Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske, the Rational National, Jamal Thomas, Real Progressive, Crystal and Cigar rising through the hill. This one guy, Radoslav, very intuitive. You guys might want to check his stuff out. He's got some good stuff. And, this new kid, Christo Avalis, I'm really concerned about him. He's kind of centrist, and he's just not getting most of it, but he's doing a good job. Look, all of us are going to demand, all of us are going to beg, all of us are going to plead. They don't care. The Democrats, as Jamal's saying, as Jimmy Dore is saying, as I've been saying, as most of us have been saying, would rather have Joe Biden lose to Trump and keep pretty much the same donor class that the Dumbo cants and the Republicans already have. And I'm talking about the judiciaries, the executives, and the legislators. I'm not talking about the voting republic. I'm talking about these people that are in office that don't care about you. They literally do not care about you. They may claim they do, and I'm talking about both sides of the aisle. They do not care. They can give a rat's ass about you. Now, the question is how do we get leverage over our legislators, our judiciaries, and our executives when you have Citizens United, just god-awful amounts of money, McCutcheon versus the FEC, god-awful amounts of money to be thrown at them, at their feet. I mean, right now I think we're close to about $8 billion, and we're just in April. $8 billion has been spent on the primaries, politics, commercials, the whole nine yards, the super PACs, APACs, committees, etc., or lobbying committees. And all this money, most of it is coming from the donor class, the 1%. And I'm talking about both sides. So the point I'm really getting to is they don't work for you. You need to get that in your head. They don't work for you. If you're a Republican or you support Trump and you're part of the 99%, and maybe you're making minimum wage, right? Maybe you're making minimum wage and you don't have health care and you don't have free college, which they can afford. We can afford it. Everybody can afford it. The whole notion of who's going to pay for it, well, that was just answered. because the Federal Reserve just cuts checks like that. The banks need it, cut them a check. Military-industrial complex needs it, cut them a check. Endless wars, just ridiculous nonsense, all going to the CEOs, corporate leaders, the elite, the 1%, et cetera, but not you. But not you. It's going to their masters, which you no longer are. This is the point we need to get out to everybody. I'm talking about Republicans. I'm talking about Democrats. I'm talking about, I don't know about libertarians. They're kind of like self-serving Ayn Rand types. Well, fuck you. Don't care about you. Do your own thing. But listen, there are A, B, C, D, and F people out there. Not everybody is an alpha. Not everybody is a Charlie. Right? I'm kind of like a C plus B minus guy. Dip into my D plus every once in a while. And yeah, I've had a few A plus moments, alpha moments. Yeah, of course. I think we all have. But not everybody can do these things. Not everybody has it in their fiber. Some people need help. Some people need assistance. Some people need free college. Some people need pre-K support or help. It's very expensive to raise a child. Very expensive. Some people need health care. And they can't. I'm talking to all the Republicans. I'm talking to all the Democrats. I'm talking to all the independents out there, for sure. We've got to unite and come together. These legislators, these judiciaries, these executives, they don't care about you. So, if you see behind me, I have something that says, evolve. Common ground. There is a party out there that cares, that gives a shit, that doesn't want corporate money, that wants to serve you. They're okay with $174,000 as an HOR or House of Representatives. They're okay with just doing their job. Yeah, I know, it's just a matter of time before they get corrupted. That could be the case. But for now, most of them, pretty much all of them, green, just hang on. They really care. They want the world to get better. They want people to have a better life. They want all of its inhabitants, creatures, everything. You know, I'm not sure I really understand eco-socialism too much, but don't ask them because that could take an hour for them to explain it to you. But they do care. They have these 4 pillars, the 10 key values. Some of them kind of different. They do need some organizers, but they need the support, the Greens. So I'm not saying for you to be totally green, but I'm asking you to ask your legislator, ask your judiciary, ask your executive, your mayor, your governor, your president. Say, you know what? We want Medicare for all. We don't like being sick and not having any kind of treatment or the ability to get better. We want college. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of Republican voters, right, can agree that the world's just big. There's just, there's 325 million people in the United States. Almost 8 billion in the world, right? I mean, and there's still plenty of room, people. Don't think that there's not room. There's room. There's so much room out there for all of us to do all these things. But we have to have the basic necessities, like a living wage. We have to have a living wage. Something that when you can afford to bring home groceries and pay your bills and do certain things that you need to at least have a better quality of life. Could we agree on this? And this is where I'm getting to. More joy and less pain. More joy and less pain. I'm talking about everybody across the board. I don't care what party you are. Independents, libertarians, you probably just don't give a shit about everybody or anybody but yourself, because that's just the way you're taught, right? That's just the way you're created, or that's the way you believe, or that's your ideology. I get that. But we're all in this together. I want my neighbor to be as happy as I am. I want the guy down the street or the lady down the street or their family to be in a good place as well as I am. I don't want to be, screw you, you can live in a dump. I mean, if you've been to Tijuana, Mexico, this is where we're headed. Hopefully you've never been to Mexico. That's south of the United States, by the way. And you'll see that you'll have giant mansions and beautiful hotels, and right next to it, we're talking feet, there'll be a shack with people living in it. The inequality is disgusting. China is very similar. There's so many countries out there that their leaders treat their republic, their citizens, like slaves and dirt and crap. And we have to stop letting them do that. I'm talking everybody come together, common ground. More joy, less pain. So we're going to have to find a way, all these Bernie-crats, all these burners, all these Bernie bros, just everybody to try to convince, just say, hey, let's try this. We want you to be happy. I want you to, you know what? Keep your fucking guns. Yeah, some people are going to be pissed. If you're worried about the gun thing, then you're in the wrong fucking place. Okay? Now, a tank, I don't know if I want a tank being parked in somebody's house. But you know what? At this point, we just need health care. We need a living wage. We need education for our kids and college and all that stuff. We need that stuff. So I'm asking all of us to ask them, what is important to you? Is there any common ground that you can ask your legislator, Mr. Republican voter? I mean, are you okay with Medicare for All with maybe a private option so you can keep your own plan? It's something, but both of them right now aren't going to give you shit. And good luck trying to get a minimum wage out of these fucking people, because it hasn't been changed till the late 70s. It's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, there are people out there right now that are starving, and they're Republican voters. There are people out there that have no health coverage and they're getting billed for COVID-19 or any kind of medical care, but by the thousands of dollars, it's ruining them in their bills, and they still vote for Trump or still vote Republican because the wedge is abortion, or the wedge is gun laws, or whatever that is. We have to find within each other some common ground. And then all of us approach our legislators, our judiciaries, and our executive. The other idea was just don't fucking vote Democrat. Fuck the Democrats. Splinter. Go green all the way. Green, green, green. But I am a green. I'm a green. But being a green doesn't mean that I don't support your values, your ethics, your morals. You have your own idea of the way you want to live. That's fine. That's that's America. I want you to be able to go to your religious cult, or your religious facility for Buddhism or Judaism or Islamism or whatever that's called, or Christianity, whatever. That's okay. Just don't sell it on me. Okay, I want everybody to do the things they want to do. I want you to be as happy as possible through your entire life. I really, really want that. The biggest thing that I want is I want us to come together and make demands that benefit us, because they're fine. They're fucking fine. I'm talking about the elite, the corporate elite. Oh, they're fine. Right? When fucking Bill Gates goes, you know what, you guys are going to have to be in lockdown for 6 more weeks. It's like, fuck you, dude. Yeah, you can do that with your islands that you own and your fucking thousands of acres of property all over the fucking planet, right? And your giant mansions. You'll be fine with your stockpile of food and clothing and whatever else you have from fucking Jeffrey Epstein. But the point I'm trying to make is we've got to all make demands together. Democrats, you've got to talk to your Republican friends. What is wrong with having health care? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with all of us being healthy? Not having these giant bills destroy us. What's wrong with having free college? What is wrong with having a minimum wage? What is wrong with that? A livable wage. And I'm not talking across the board. I'm more thinking, depending on the state or the area or the region, the cost of living could equate to that. But it shouldn't be less than $15 an hour. $15 an hour is getting fucking old anyway. Excuse me. Since the late 70s, they passed a law that said they didn't have to, the legislators and everybody, the government didn't have to raise the minimum wage to the cost of living. That's so ever since then, they've just been doing it out of necessity or demand. Necessity or demand. So, yeah, I think the Democrats don't deserve a vote at all. I don't think they deserve shit, because they have been criminalistic. It has been a shit show. But as far as taking care of your fellow man, fellow citizens, voting republic, you know, is it okay? I mean, because you know they can afford it. I mean, I've got people working at McDonald's, I got people working at Wendy's, you got people working all over the country, everywhere, for minimum wage, just pennies. And they're out there right now, essential workers making a minimum wage and putting themselves in harm of COVID-19. Okay, whether you believe it or not, they're still out there working, right? They're still out there doing their job. They need to deserve, they need to be able to survive. This is where you have to have empathy for your fellow citizen. There has to be some common ground. That the trickle down is working, because it's not. I know there are millions and millions of Republicans out there, Republican voters, that no matter what, they're going to vote Republican no matter what. But most of them are hurting. They can't pay their bills. They don't make enough money. Sending their kids to college is too expensive. You know, scholarship, good luck. It's tough. So common ground is what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about bringing everyone together. And if they want to go green with us, that's great. But they need to start, but also, if that is great, but also they need to bring what they want, what they need, what they desire from their legislators, their judiciaries, and their executives. They need to make demands instead of just listening to the man all the time. You know, the cool thing about true, real progressives, not the fake ones, the neoliberal ones like AOC, right, and Chuck Schumer, and fucking Nancy Pelosi. They're fake. They're full of shit, right? And Bernie, just don't get me started on Bernie. I think he knew what was going on the whole fucking time. He's just a Pied Piper. With all that being known, all that being said, and everybody's trying to find ways or do whatever, we've got to ask our neighbor, fellow Republican, and all independents. You know, we're in a hard spot. We're in a hard spot. But you are too. Can we have some common ground to at least have health care for everybody? Is that okay? I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. Can we have at least free college or a living wage? You know, the biggest thing that the most important thing that we should be doing as a voting republic is getting money out of politics. Don't let them fool you on that. The greatest thing that we need to do as a voting republic, and I'm talking about Republicans, Democrats, independents, libertarians, you name it. You have to stop this influence from the donor class. You've got to stop the 1% from controlling what you do. I am saying the first and foremost, if we could come together on getting money out of politics, then the rest work. Then we decide. Then we have ranked choice voting. Look it up. It's a great process of voting. We get rid of these super fucking delegates. We go by the majority, and then the majority of people that vote for certain people. You pick three. The one that you want the most, the one that you want the least, and maybe the one that you want the least gets in, but at least you voted for them. Ranked choice voting. It's one of the fairest ways to vote. But the biggest thing that we all need to come after, and I'm talking about, Democrats and Republicans and Libertarians, everybody, is get your legislator to pull money out of politics completely. Get rid of Citizens United. Look it up, and get rid of McCutcheon versus the FEC. Right? And make sure elections are public, so everybody has a fair stake at it, right? And then you start selecting who you want based on what they bring to the table, their issues, their platform, what they represent, etc. But it has nothing to do with influence and money and power. Okay, that should be the number one thing we should all be doing. Number one, get money out of politics. All of us should be. Every single citizen over the age of 18 should be at least saying that. That is the number one issue. Get money out of politics. And then it's about us. It's not about the donor class. It's not about the 1%. It's not about the CEOs. I think we can all agree to that. I think we can all agree to getting money out of politics. Let's try to get that going. Let's talk to our neighbor. Let's talk to our fellow citizen, and tell them what's really happening out there. Why this happens and that happens. Why they don't get to do and say or whatever they want, and etc. Because they're influenced. Our legislators, our judiciaries, and our executives are influenced, and they're whored out, and they're pawned out, and they're pulled by strings by the donor class. And it's not you making those laws. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Like and subscribe and all that crap. I'm not trying to sell t-shirts.